Hello, hey guys. Long time no see. It's Connor. I'm back doing the carpool. I'm probably assuming you're wondering where I've been. I've just been busy, been working. Life gets in the way. What can I say? Been working a lot and personal things have kind of kept me away for a bit, but I'm back. So your good old pal Connor's back, and what I'm going to be doing is I figured out that on the Wednesday slot during the week, there is a gap there because normally what I would do is I would upload or I'd record earlier on in the week because of the day that my days off kind of worked. And what I would do is I would, upload, but then it would maybe get uploaded on like a Tuesday morning or something, and like it would kind of clash with our guys in the show. So what will happen is I'll take the Wednesday slot, and obviously if I am off, Saturdays and Sundays, I'll try and go on and do live and do the Blethers with guys like Pam and Terry and stuff like that. So whenever they're free or whoever else is free. But yeah, obviously since I've been away, there's a lot happened. We got an absolutely thrilling win in the Champions League, which was excellent. That was a brilliant result. We beat Rangers. We've been damn near perfect in the league. It's been really refreshing, really, encouraging to see the form that we've been on and just how Brendan Rodgers is getting a tune out of these players and, the new players coming in like Engels, McCowan, guys like that really coming in and stepping up to the plate and showing why they deserve the moves. And guys like Nicholas Kuhn, you've, absolutely, been transformed, I think, and show what they can really do. So yeah, it's been a very very good start to the season overall. Obviously, it's been that long, guys, since I've been on. I'm having to try and recap everything. But yeah, obviously since I last recorded, we had a absolutely brilliant win against Slovan Bratislava in the Champions League on Sunday. There, I was at the game on Sunday there in the cup game against Falkirk. I'll talk about that a little bit, and then we'll move on to discussing the game at the weekend and potentially looking ahead to the fixture against Dortmund in the Champions League. But yeah, I was at the game on Sunday there, and it's the first time I've took my dad to a game in a long time. He's he's still working at his age and that, and he's still you know going, and he's usually that fucking tired. He works weekends as well, so he usually can't get the time off to come and see the games. But I managed to get tickets. Me and him went, and we had a really good time. But at half time, I was like, you guys know how superstitious I am. I was like, you need to fuck off out of the stadium right now. I'm like, you're causing the bad energy in here because it was making us lose because I'm so superstitious. Like, if I'm with someone and I'm like, what colour is socks you on? And they go, oh, blue. I'm like, fucking take them off right now because we're losing. That's what I'm like. So with him being there, I was like, this is your fault, by the way. This is absolutely your fault. Not the fact that Brendan Rodgers, changed the entire back line for players that haven't even played together and played Stephen Welsh, who hasn't played a minute of football this season, and Alex Valley, who's just came from Barcelona as a young lad, very inexperienced. Lewis Palmer decides to drop a stinker. All those factors are actually what equated to that first half performance more than my superstitious nature. Um, but yeah, I think overall it was. I was quite refreshed, to be honest, to see a team come in of a proper go to Celtic Park now. I know what you guys are probably going to say. Oh, it's a cup game. They have to do that. It's a free hit. Not necessarily. I've seen guys, look, Kilmarnock in the League Cup last year when we got put out, at the first hurdle, just stunk the gaff out. They just were absolutely terrible, just camping back, and then try to counter on the break. And that's, what teams typically, historically, try and do against us, especially at Celtic Park. They try and frustrate us, try and, keep all their men back in their half of the pitch, try and stop us from getting anything, and then they hope to capitalise on us getting frustrated and then maybe nick something at the end and try and, get away with something there or maybe take it to penalties or what have you. Um, I I was quite happy with Falkirk. They brought a fantastic away support. Their fans are absolutely brilliant. I have to say that. And if they do um, get promoted from the Championship, which it looks like, they might do because, I think they're still undefeated in the Championship, um, in the league at least, they're, they could be a real contender, for being one of the better teams to come up and bring a decent away support. Because, you see them with it brought a bit of energy, it brought a bit of spark. Granted, our spirits were a bit down, considering they scored first. Paulo Bernardo gets an excellent equaliser. He loves a fucking volley, that boy. He loves it. You know, an absolute thunder bastard of a goal. He gets that, and then they nick a goal literally at the last gasp before half time to put us 2-1 down, and you're looking down the barrel at that point. You're like, oh my god, you're like, not this again. I can't do this again after last season. I was getting put out so early on in the cup. But you know, like I said, all those changes were made. There was a point where I was like, why has Rodgers decided to make this entire raft of changes? He could have made, you know, 2 or 3, giving the guys some minutes, and then when they get a couple of goals up, then make some more changes, let other guys come on and get minutes, show what they can do. But when you're making that many wholesale changes across the entire backline, across the pitch, there's not going to be a lot of synergy there. The guys haven't played together. They're not, you know, used to getting minutes in the legs. They're not used to that. So every other player who maybe didn't look amazing, like guys like Trusty or Valle or whoever, I'm not going to be too harsh on them. The only one I am going to be harsh on is Luis Palma. He dropped an absolute fucking howler. He was absolutely terrible, and he looks like he's trying to do too much. I don't know what it is about him. He's not got like a bad attitude, I would say, because even though he's posting me cryptic things on Instagram and stuff, it's just a bit like, okay. But he needs to buck up his ideas. I don't think he's honestly he's long for the club. I think he could be gone in January. But I fully said last season I was under the impression that he would come in this season and absolutely blow everything out of the water, because he made that many actually crucial contributions last season in the league and in the Champions League. So I thought there was a player in there, but it looks like another one where it could just be a bit of like wasted potential. And that, I think that's the story of a lot of our signings. And like, they look good on paper, they come in, they make a couple of good contributions here and there, but then they just fizzle out. And it's a shame. It's a shame because he came in, he's personable, I'd say he's likable, he's a bit of a cheeky chappy. He's kind of, he's got a bit about him as well. Like, granted, he's a winger who can't beat a man, which is not what we require at Celtic, but he doesn't lack for confidence. He seems to try things that are a bit audacious. He isn't afraid to shoot. You know, he scored an absolute peach last season up at Ross County. You know, he scored in the Champions League as well. He had brilliant games in the Champions League. He was excellent. You know, had really good games last season. But I think what we're seeing recently over the last few months, especially, are kind of just confirming that he's maybe not long for the club, and that maybe it's just the wrong fit for him, and it may be like other players in the past who maybe had a bit of potential, like another certain winger, maybe by the name of Mikey Johnston. He may, find out the grass is actually greener on the other side at another club where he can, perform, and there's maybe not as much pressure on his shoulders because, like we say, Celtic is probably one of the most pressure-filled clubs you could ever play for in the world. You know, probably more so than like a lot of clubs down south, a lot of clubs in Spain, Italy, Germany. The pressure is on there you to perform day in, day out, 365, 7 days a week, even when you're not playing, when you're training, when you're representing the club, when you're representing the crest on the chest, essentially. So it is a bit, I do feel for him because he's a young lad, came in, but saying that, young lad, Arnie Engel just came in this season and he's, by all accounts for now, has took to it like a duck to water, and he's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, fair to say, I think Luis Palma ain't long for the jersey. Moving on to the second half, we then make a raft of changes eventually. We bring, Engels on, Nicholas Kuhn on, Greg Taylor on to show up at left back, things like that. And the change was almost instantaneous. And you see it. You see what guys like Kuhn and that are bringing, how shit hot they are in terms of form. The guy gets 2 assists and 2 goals in 20 minutes. That's fucking ridiculous, especially from a losing position, where it's a position we're not familiar with, especially recently, and a position where it was looking a wee bit bleak. Like, up until we made the changes and we were actually, playing well, we weren't that great. Passes were going out the park, passes were getting overplayed, balls are going out, guys are making, wrong runs, being offside. And it was just like, you could maybe get the feeling you're like, is it going to be one of those days? But unfortunately, obviously, we then got the result in the end on the back of the changes. So, you get Nicholas Kuhn comes on, sets up Adamida for a tap in. 2 minutes later, Adamida then gets another goal. And now I think this is now him. He's obviously scored in the Champions League last week as well. He's then got those 2 goals against Falkirk in a kind of tough game, because let's make no bones about it. Falkirk have came and played us and been the best opposition we've played against this season. Better than Rangers, better than Slovan Bratislava, better than Hearts, better than all these other teams who have came and played against us this season. They've been really, really good. I think they've been really good, and all credit to them. Pretty sure John McGlynn, the manager who has worked under Brendan Rodgers previously, I think he was actually part of his staff when Brendan Rodgers came around the first time, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but yeah, the guy knows what he's doing. He's got a good squad, good players, and they came in at a fucking go. And all kudos to them for doing that. I really, really do prefer seeing that. It makes it so much more entertaining than watching, 10 men camp behind the ball in their own half, and you're having to just sit and wait for Celtic to try and break them down. And, it makes for a lot better of a product as well on the pitch, on the cameras, on TV, stuff like that. So hopefully other teams see that and they decide to try and have a go as well. It would be quite refreshing. But, yeah, Adamina gets his 2 goals. I think he's going to really, start firing now. He looks arguably in better form, maybe, than Kyogo. I don't know if he's going to get a start against Dortmund, but he could potentially start this weekend against St Johnstone. It's away. It could be a tricky venue. We know St Johnstone. They like to frustrate. They like to have a lot of men behind the ball. So there could be the call for him to start ahead of Kyogo on Saturday. Which I'd be all for, to be honest, because I was banging the Adamida drum last season. I love him. I love him so much, and I'm so happy that obviously he's now came in. He's now scored a few goals, and he seems to be hitting the ground running now. And then we get Nicholas Kuhn, scores 2 great goals as well. He's just something else into this season. He's just absolutely on fire, and it's so nice to see that Brendan Rodgers has obviously seen something in him and had that faith in him that he could get back to his best. Obviously, he had issues last season with his dental issues. He lost a lot of weight, a lot of muscle mass. He's also regained that, and he's stepped up to the plate, and he looks fantastic. I think defenses in this league are terrified of him, and I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care what people say. Right now, he could potentially be better than Jota. And I mean that. And I love Jota. You know how much I love Jota when he was here. I think he looks potentially better than Jota. Let's not forget, Nicholas Kuhn's a guy who, when he was younger, was at Ajax and Bayern Munich. He ain't coming, he's playing in the Belgian league, I think, but he's not, he's got a good footballing background. Very, very, prominent, So he's shown what he can do, and I'm so happy for that, because obviously when he first came in, I was like, this guy ain't it. He ain't got it. But I am so glad to be proven wrong. Just like Liam Scales proved me wrong, Nicholas Kuhn's proved me wrong as well. And I am so happy to have all that egg on my face in terms of, the opinions I've got on him. But yeah, so we round up the game, finishing at 5-2. It was a good result. I was happy with it. My dad had an excellent time. He said to me, he goes, "Oh, I love that. Like, can we go to more games in it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take you to more games. I'd love to." Obviously, depending, when we can get there. But so he had a great day out as well, which was nice. So now we can look ahead, guys. So we've got a game this weekend against St Johnstone, who have recently just sacked Craig Levein, their manager. And get up, you Craig Levein. You absolute diddy. I hate Craig Levein so much. I hate him so much. He was an absolute wallopper, an absolutely shit tactician, a shit manager. And I'm so glad that he's been given his jotters earlier on this season. So, yeah, let's look at their form now on table. They haven't won in their last 4 games. So, match day 3 beat 2-0 Dundee United. match day 4, they were beat 2-1 off Motherwell, then beat 2-1 off Hibs, and then managed to get a 3-3 draw with St Johnstone, in which they were actually leading, to be fair. They were leading 3-1, but obviously Ross County managed to pull it back. So I think that shows you what we could be up against this weekend. Like we said before, St Johnstone typically, they like to try and frustrate us. They like to sit behind. I remember under Angie's regime, St Johnstone were a wee bit of a thorn in the side for us. I remember we got that late winner with Yakimakis, and they'd managed to get something at like the last gasp, and then we got it in the last couple of minutes, and it was absolute pandemonium. But these teams, I know people say, oh, they're shit, the league shit, and I've said it before, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And St Johnstone, for whatever opinions you have on them, they've also won, I think, 3 trophies in the last decade, pretty much. They went and done a cup double a few years back. So I try and take, each respective opponent and try and look at it individually and try and treat them with a bit of respect. And they're probably going to be name mugs. Don't treat any opposition with name mugs, let's be totally honest, because you could end up, shooting yourself in the foot. But yeah, I do think that obviously with the form we're on, we're scoring goals for fun. In the league, we're, keeping clean sheets left, right, and centre. I do think we have the potential to have a high scoring game at the weekend. I do think guys, like Ida, Kuhn, Engels, possibly Luke McCowan, Kyogo, Callum McGregor, Hatai potentially he could do with a wee bit of uplifting form. Guys like that are going to come in and just absolutely stamp their authority all over this match, and I'm here for it because I am really enjoying what I'm seeing. Obviously, I did make a prediction like a few weeks ago. I do think we could go this season invincible again, do another invincible treble. It could potentially be on the cards. Like I'm not, counting my chickens before they hatch. But what I am saying is the signs are there and the signs are positive. So depending on what happens this weekend, I could, my odds could be rising. Do you know what I mean? For my prediction. So saying that, I did predict that Lewis Palmer would have a great season, and so far that has blown up in my face. But you win some, you lose some. But yeah, guys, I am really looking forward to the game against St Johnstone this weekend. I do think it'll kind of be run of the mill, probably a 3-0, 4-0 victory. Probably get multiple scorers, and I think man of the match will probably be Nicholas Kuhn and Arne Engels, to be totally honest, based off of previous performances. But yeah, I think it's now time that we talk about the upcoming game in the Champions League, which normally you tell Celtic fans, yeah, you're playing away at Dortmund. You're like, oh no, what are we going to do? But Dortmund are just off the back of an absolute hammering to Stuttgart. And Stuttgart are no mugs. They're a good team. They're pretty consistent in the league. They're a thorn in the side of many Bundesliga teams, and they've been there for for a good while. In and out of the league and stuff like that. So yeah, but and Dortmund, to be honest, they are a team though that do have the results like that in them. You always see that. You always see like one of the big teams like Bayern or Dortmund get like pumped off someone you would never expect. Like I'm pretty sure there was a a game a couple of years ago where I think FC Cologne beat Bayern, I think 4-1 or something. It was crazy, but that's the German league for you. But then I'm not going to look too deep into it, to be honest. I know a lot of people are getting excited about it, saying, "Oh, there's a potential here for us to go in." Don't do it. don't don't think we're going to go into this game and just suddenly like we're going to do it with Edersloh and Bratislava and just wipe the floor with Dortmund. It ain't as cut and dry as that. It ain't going to be simple. We have to be our very, very fucking best to beat to try not even beat, to get a result against Dortmund away over in Germany. I still don't think that Celtic have beaten a German team away in Germany. I don't think it's ever actually happened in our history. So it is potentially, something that we could accomplish, but it's something that as well, you know, we we need to really, be at our A game to try and get something out of this. We can't go in expecting, oh, they just lost their last game. They got fucking pumped off a team like Stuttgart. Let's just go in and like try and like wipe the floor with them. I ain't gonna work like that. It ain't gonna work like that. I tell you that for nothing. So I do think though there is a potential there because like we're seeing some of our other opponents in the Champions League ain't having such hot results either. So for example, I think last night or the night before, Atalanta got beat off Como. Yep, Cesc Fabregas's like Como. Just up from the Serie B, the Championship, managed to beat Atalanta. I think they were 3-1 up as well, which is quite impressive. To be totally honest, and I think Atalanta managed to get just like a consolation goal at the end to make it 3-2 and make it seem a bit closer. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna not try and get carried away. Like I'm saying, don't get carried away. Don't think we're actually going to do something because yeah, you're just going to be met with disappointment probably because what Celtic are historically like in Champions League and in Europe, we always just like disappoint. But there's potential here. There is a lot of potential, and like we've been seeing with this new league format in the Champions League, there is serious potential for us to try and take a few scalps and try and do something in Europe. And it's something that I am extremely looking forward to seeing unfold, with the potential of it leading to more financial benefits for the club, status benefits, because let's be honest, we're a fucking tourist trap now for a lot of teams. They want to come, they want to see the stadium, they'll want to get pictures, they want to video the disco lights, they want to hear the roar, Celtic Park, and then they're like, cool, let's just go and beat these fuckers then, okay, put 6 or 7 past them. And then they're like, oh, cheers for the game, guys, thanks, nice stadium you've got here, bye. We need to try and make Celtic Park a fortress again. And I think the potential is there for us to do that, especially with some of the favourable teams we've been given, like Club Brugge, Young Boys, Slovan Bratislava, Dinamo Zagreb, who just got hammered, I believe, as well, in their first game against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. We have the potential here, and it's about seizing that. It's about doing the best we can do as a club, being prepared, having the right players, having the right attitude, having the right tactics, doing that. But I ain't my job. That's the fucking manager's job. So I'm just an observer here to see what's going to happen, and I will then react upon that. That's my job essentially. And I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. But if you're asking me for a prediction now, can I see us having a potentially really good, run in Europe this year for the first time in a long time? Yeah, I can see it. There's a feeling about the club now, a feeling of positivity, a feeling of togetherness, confidence in our ability, our players, you know, upgrades all over the pitch. Engels, McCowan, for example, even if you don't agree with that. Kuhn playing out his skin. McGregor, since he's announced his retirement from playing international football, has been absolutely fantastic. Ida's scoring. Kyogo's scoring. Alistair Johnston, been fantastic. Carter Vickers, been fantastic. Liam Scales, proving me and everybody else wrong, been fantastic. Kasper Schmeichel, best fucking goal in the league. He's keeping so many clean sheets in the league. Granted, he's conceded in the league and he's conceded in the cups and conceded in the Champions League as well. But he seems so confident with the ball at his feet. He knows what he's doing. His positioning, his positional awareness is so good. He knows how to pick out a pass as well, more than Joe Hart. You can see the difference, and he's picking out these passes. He's releasing the ball that the most opportune times. He's not rushing it. He's not doing it too early. He's not doing it too late. He's doing it at the right times, and that's the difference with Joe Hart. And I love Joe Hart when he was here. He was absolutely fantastic. Loved him to bits. But you could see differences. Like there's points where Kasper Schmeichel makes a cross pass and finds a player, and then we then break on that. Joe Hart would have just lumped that up the park or collected it and just rolled it out to the fullback, done the safe option. Kasper Schmeichel ain't doing that because he believes in his own ability to do these things, to make these passes, to be the guy at the back who's commanding that area. and I'm here for it. I am so here for it. And I don't care that he's only been here a matter of, months. Get him that second contract and get him on a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. Please, Celtic, I'm begging you, I'm praying. Please do. But anyway, guys, it's just a little short episode this week. Because obviously the guys have obviously spoke about things before. I don't want to, take up all the limelight and, go over stuff that we've already discussed. So, you guys, if you don't forget, you can like, share, subscribe. You can become a Bhoycie Bus member as well for the low fee of $1.99 a month. Look down below there. We've got piesports.com, who are the sponsors, up in the corner there. If you go to the website, you'll get 12.5% off your order with the code BUS1888. So that's piesports.com, code BUS1888, guys, for our sponsors today. I just want to say thank you again. Thanks for your patience as well. I know it's been a while. If you guys are even watching, you might not even be interested in me anymore. But if you guys are tuning in, you're happy I'm back, let me know down below. Don't forget to comment as well. Please share the bus. Please share it. We do appreciate all the love and support you guys give. And if you want to become a member, it's right down there. It's $1.99 a month. Totally optional. Just shows you guys that, you want to help and support the bus and the guys here so that we can keep, things ticking over. But anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. I'll be back next week, hopefully, and potentially this weekend. You never know. But until then, here's hoping that by the time I next record, we're off the back of a good result against St Johnstone, and we're going into a good game and possibly a victory against Dortmund over in Germany. Anyway, see you later. Peace.